Today, I am honored to add to that list of many accomplishments and assignments of Jack by appointing him as Special Advisor of UNCTAD on small business and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, particularly for younger people.
I believe that Jack Ma's understanding of what needs to be done to help small and medium enterprises, to encourage entrepreneurship even in the poorest communities, is still potentially the one way that we can get to a world free of extreme poverty, in which we grow the economy in a way that's inclusive. Jack, congratulations. All of us in the multilateral system are so much better off now that you're one of us. And I hope that you will help us shape the future with the vision that you told me about on one of my first days at the World Bank Group. Thank you.
Secretary General says, it's my pleasure to greet this important event because meeting the ambitions of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, as well as the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, requires smart partnerships with private sector innovators together with the dynamic forces of civil society.
In this role, I will work with Dr. Katui to promote globalization for the 80% that has been left out, especially for the young entrepreneurs and small business.
We within the UN family are aware that there is need for a new smart partnership if we have to deal with today's challenges in a way different from what we've been doing before. And that smart partnership requires that those of us in international organizations identify the energy that comes from entrepreneurs like Jack Ma, visionaries who have concrete solutions to challenges.
We need more entrepreneurs because next 30 years, entrepreneurs, the innovation, the creativity with the new technology, that's going to create more jobs. And it's going to be, if we don't work hard, it's going to be a disaster. Because a lot of jobs that are so powerful, so important today will disappear.
I believe that digitalization and the universality of digitalization is going to make such a revolutionary change as electricity did in 1945. Digital economy can be a very powerful tool, but we need to have the vision, and the vision is in the SDGs.
If do not using the digital economy, a lot of nation is going to be a nation developed with electricity in the last century. The global trade of 100 years ago was controlled by several kings and emperors. And last 50 years, as Roberto said, is controlled by 60,000 big companies. They control 90%, close to 90% of the total trade. Think about it. If we can enable 2 billion people, 2 billion young people, and millions of small business, then they can sell and buy across the board. The world is going to change a lot. This is something that we should be working on that.
Jack mentioned the infrastructure problem, the deficit of technology in developing countries. That's the first thing we need to address, the connectivity problem. 80% of the population is not connected. And what we know is that small and medium enterprises, and we've seen studies that are connected, 90% plus of those companies export or import. They participate in global trade flows.
Technology is perhaps, leveling the playing field, accelerating things, changing where we are in terms of trade negotiations.
And one reality, particularly in the trade arena, is that trade has been for a long time a preserve of the big companies. Has been a preserve of the big guys, of the big corporations, and it's time that we change that. We see how trade, and Jack has given just a number of examples of how trade can help the small guys, the small companies, the small entrepreneurs. In many developing countries, the small and medium enterprises, they account for around 90% of the workforce. So if we can help those companies to participate more, to integrate more into the economy, you're helping the vast majority of the population.
SMEs are creating 99%, they are 99% of the companies actually. 1% is the large firms, 99% is small and medium-sized companies, and they are creating 61% of employment, although they do not contribute that much to GDP. That's the problem.
We think women in this century, They care people more. The user friendliness on the internet, nobody care you're a man or woman as long as you have to give a good services. So we have so many women. We have close to 50% of power sellers on the internet. They are women.
In our discussions and expectations about this partnership, what we want to do is how can smart partnership with smart entrepreneurs help us deliver on the ground concrete results. And we are happy to welcome him on board and to commit him to a cause that is worthwhile, because the future of even the global democratic experiment will stand or fail with our ability to create gainful employment for young people.